Hey guys, I'm Springtime and welcome back to Jade Empire. In the last episode, we were talking to Master Lee about our future outside of the town of Two Rivers when he was interrupted by a student saying that bandits have attacked. So now we're gonna go meet Dawnstar and fight off these bandits. So without any more interruption, let's get started.
I may finally get a chance to see some combat if there are truly bandits coming. I'm sure Master Lee will be able to save Kia Min even if she's wounded. But I wonder who will salve her pride, walking along the shore my foot. I understand your training is almost complete. I wonder who will replace you as our example. It certainly won't be me. I can't even imagine Master Lee saying, "You must strive to be like Lin in all things" to the others. Just the opposite, more likely. That makes sense. Is that how you live your life? If so, it certainly seems to be an effective philosophy. You could just be pouring honey in my ears, but that's not half as fun as other places it could go. Oh my, you've gone kind of red. I shouldn't tease you like that. Maybe I should spend more time training and less time worrying about where I stand in the school. How else will I be good enough to take you down one of these days? Besides, there might be bigger things to worry about. I find myself intrigued by the ghost tales that everyone's mentioning. Why would you ask me? Everyone knows I don't get along with her. She's too moody to talk to. Always looking past you as if there's something more interesting happening behind you. You certainly don't seem to have any trouble getting along with her. And you, of all people, should know to look for her at her garden by the school gate. You think I will talk about them behind their backs? I will, but I don't want people to think of me as the local gossip, even if I am just that. Of note? There's only one student of note, and that would be you. Everyone else, even Dawnstar, is just a background for you and your supposed destiny. Not that you don't deserve the attention. I'd be flirting with you non-stop if you weren't so focused on whatever it is Master Lee has in store for you. All of us get a little envious of that. Even Gao gets pushed aside, and he doesn't like being anything less than the center of attention. You know him as well as I do. A rich man's son. He's attractive, I suppose, but arrogance follows him like a cloud of locusts. I hear his father is the same way. Gao the Greater and Gao the Lesser. Not a family I would want to be a part of. Why do you need to ask me about Dawnstar? You know her better than anyone as far as I'm concerned. You two practically grew up together. Frankly, I think she might have a little crush on you, too. Notice how she's been less willing to train with you recently? Maybe that's why you two get along so well. Maybe her sense for ghosts and the like meshes well with the great destiny Master Lee sees for you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be like that. Dawnstar is a fine person. She just sees things that I can't. I know there are ghosts and spirits, but why should she be able to sense them when I can't? What makes her special? While Master Lee tries to never let it show, he obviously holds a special place in his heart for you two. I suppose that's hard to deal with, even if I have been here far less time than you two. You know what is said. Master Lee believes you're special, but won't say why. It makes you interesting. Some of the others don't find it as intriguing as I do. Some even consider it an attack on their worth. Gao, obviously. You know he doesn't like you, he never has. And when Master Lee tells him to model himself after you, that just makes it worse. If you wish, what do you want to ask about? Master Lee took me in when no one else would. He is a firm master, but a kind man deep inside. I imagine that he walked. If you want anything more than that, you'll have to ask someone who was here at the time. That was 20 years ago. I really don't know or care. It may as well have been Sagacious Tien, the first emperor. That was before I was born. If you wish, what do you want to ask about? Other than what Dawnstar senses, all I have is stories, but they're becoming more and more common. Tales of people being haunted by loved ones, and mad ghosts attacking people on the roads, or even in their homes. And Master Li accepts Dawnstar's ability to see and sense things others can't. If he believes her, then how could I believe otherwise? They're exactly what you'd expect. The souls of humans who have died. According to all the legends, when you die, your soul travels to the underworld. Once there, your soul is judged and placed upon the wheel of life, so that it can return to this world in a new life. A soul that doesn't return to the wheel of life becomes a ghost. According to the stories, ghosts are usually people whose souls are trapped in this world, either by circumstance or because they won't let go of their old lives. The thing is, those circumstances are very rare, and you never heard about ghosts 10 years ago. Now everyone's talking about them. It's like something has happened, and people aren't leaving this world like they should be. Either that or it's mass hysteria, but I can't believe that explanation. From what I understand, Dawnstar is very sensitive to magic and to the spirits we call ghosts. She sees things that others can't. Sometimes she knows things that she shouldn't. I really can't say if it's intuition or something else. That was my first question when I started hearing these rumors. Apparently they can look just like us, though possibly pale and faded. Some ghosts have been around a long time, and apparently they begin to change. They grow distant from their bodies and become more monsters than people. The scary thing is that a lot of the stories I've been hearing are about these old ghosts, the ones that look like monsters. It just doesn't make sense. If you wish, what do you want to ask about? I'm sure you've figured out most of my little quirks by now. I've been here a few years. I wasn't the delicate flower my family had hoped for. They believed school would calm my spirit. But Master Li has shown me how to focus myself. I have learned many skills while here, and not many of them require that I be delicate. When I am done, I haven't really thought about it. I won't go home. There's no place for me there. If I can stomach the books, I could become a scholar. Perhaps I'll go to the Imperial City. I should see it at least once in my life. If you wish, what do you want to ask about? Don't you think that there's more important things than practice right now? Suddenly everything feels so real. Leaving so soon? Oh well, back to my training.
What can I do for you? I am here to serve and train. Goodbye. What can I do for you? I am here to serve and train. I'd rather not. He is impatiently traveling the low path, and I long ago abandoned him to it. He is reckless, and he neither seeks nor wants my guidance. As young as he is, Gao has impressive skill. Master Li has tried to restrain him, but I know how far he has gone. He wields powerful energies, but has the temper of a child. Master Li has taught the base of such techniques to you and others. Mastering Qi is important for any student here, but he also demands control. Gao's father most likely tutored him. By all that I have heard, both are impatient and spoiled. They can be provoked into explosive outbursts. Only what she lets me know. A very private woman, despite spending so long in the school. You probably know her as well as anyone does. She has great skill, but a reluctance to use it. If she were to let go, she could be very powerful. Perhaps that is what she fears. I am charged with... Goodbye.
So Gao is sort of the antagonist right now in the story, and we'll see more on that later. Also, when you make a good decision towards your followers when you're talking to them, you hear kind of a soothing, happy background music, and you'll hear that throughout the game.
What's the matter, Dawnstar? Are you scared that Master Li might find out?
There is talk of approaching bandits, and you bother me with unsubtle advances. How very like you, Gao. No doubt a tactic learned from your criminal father.
His name is Gao the Greater, and he built a fortune out of some ragged thieves and slave traders. If my charm can't lift your spirit, I'll buy the ground from under you.
Flaunting your father's undeserved wealth does not impress me, Gao. It only serves to push me further away.
You step beyond your station. She and I are discussing her future.
Thank you, Gao, but I'll pick my own poison. Now leave, and if you'd be so kind, stay downwind.
I won't forget this, Dawnstar. You show great disrespect. You as well. You will not take all the glory if there is an attack. We are not through.
Oh, he is Gao the Lesser in all respects. I thought Master Li allowed him to stay so that the influence of the father could be countered, but Gao never learns. He acts like he's above Master Li's teachings. Such are the conceits of wealth, I suppose. I appreciate that you arrived when you did. What does Gao the Lesser ever want? He's convinced that he can buy everything, and that includes people. He's a spoiled little man. I'd rather not dwell on him. Let's not increase his influence by talking about him after he's gone. What is it you wish? That is nice to hear. Gao could learn much from you if he wanted to learn anything from anyone.
Yes, he said you were coming. He just passed here with Si Pat on his way to help Kia Min. It's strange that simple bandits would launch such a raid.
Master Li was concerned that this would interrupt your training. His respect for your potential is just so absolute. Has he told you any more about your future?
I don't like your bad feelings. They always end up being right. Remember the grass fire? Half of the field's gone in a day, and you knew it would happen.
You said you felt the lightning coming, but not even Master Li knows the weather like that. I trust your instincts. You are full of such promise. I can see into the spiritual, an ability that grants some insight, but it doesn't seem to be useful for anything other than keeping me awake at night. I helped Master Li discover the unrest that shapes your future, but I see only problems, while you are destined to find solutions. I envy you for that. I'm glad. You have always kept your feet on the ground. What does Master Li say? That you should keep the basics close to heart?
Let's go get your weapon from Guzhin's workshop. It shouldn't be too hard to fend off simple bandits. They're foolish to attempt such an attack.
Of course. I can speak now or during our walk. Master Li suggested that I accompany you, in case you require assistance. I don't want to think about it too much. Manipulating Qi has not come as naturally to me as it has to you. The things I do are different. I can see spirit shapes and hear the odd whisper. Master Li was surprised, but he has not had time to look into it further. Your training is his primary interest. Hopefully I'll find my skills useful for more than just keeping me up at night. Could we go on to something else? We are all spiritual creatures. When we die, our spirits are released to find their way to the underworld. The journey eases the transition from life to death. If their time among the living was troubled or painful, spirits sometimes get lost. They can seem almost alive and are often mistaken for living creatures. They usually only appear for a short time. They say what they need to say and then are drawn to the underworld. If a person's life was very traumatic, his or her spirit can lose its way for a long time. They can go mad trapped in the world of the living. Maddened spirits change. They lose their connection to the living world and begin to channel darker emotions. They can be very dangerous. I've only seen hints of those. It's been enough. I'm very worried about what may be coming. I don't know. That's the kind of thing old men sit on mountains to discover. Some say it is a place of judgment. Maybe it's about reincarnation. You'd think we could just ask the spirits themselves, but if we can't really understand our own answers, how can we hope to fathom theirs?
We should get our weapons as quickly as we can. I am honored that Master Li feels I am worthy of standing beside you.
So Dawnstar is your first follower that you gain. She attacks with her longsword, and if you have her in her attack mode, if you choose to put her in support mode, she recovers your chi, which is useful if you like using magic or transformation styles, and if you like to heal yourself on a regular basis, just in case you take too much damage, it is a benefit. So I'm going to end it here. Next episode, we're going to get our weapon from Gujin and finally fight some bandits. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time on the next episode of Jade Empire.